one, you're not discovering it for yourself, but two, you're not able to go through the emotions of that and the thought process of, hey, is this a good thing to use or a bad thing, right? Like you don't have time
Yep.
to actually think about, should I use this or not? You're just given the loaded gun in your hand and said, okay, go out there into the world. Like,
If you just keep making up all you just go along with it just because you want your favorite franchise to have a good, to actually have a game that lasts, lying to yourself is not going to help the matter. Like
yeah,
saying, "Oh yeah, this game's great." Like you need to, you just need to get good. Well, look what's happening to the game now. A lot of people is tired of all the dealing with all the BS and people are uninstalling the game. What would you rather want? A game that survives a year or a game that dies within a month?
true.
I mean, like I would rather have a game where okay, they still have, the stuff that they have, but there's adjustments are being made to the point where it just at least makes a bit more sense and it's a little bit more enjoyable and people have to think about what they're doing instead of just going along with the same tired strategy that they always use, which is wait for their skill points to go all the way up and just make sure they try to create that window of opportunity to just knock you out with one alt because they're using max sparking. Because, like, 90%, I would say 80 to 90% of the characters that I would face online is some character that has an instant sparking as part of their kit.
Yeah.
It's every once in a while I run into somebody that's using a character where they don't have some kind of crazy kit.
I agree. And
Like I,
it bothers me too. It's kind of like people just wait for that budget skill that gives you the bang for the buck, the
yeah,
most bang for your buck, or that just basically is the kill or be killed skill. Whoever gets there first. It's the same
yep, there
concept
you
in a
go.
lot of the
Yeah,
old, like recent Storm games, is who can cheese the other person first. In Storm 4, it was the
that's how
chakra
it is.
chakra recovery glitch, and then basically just people spamming you with jitsus, right? And they
Yeah,
actually nerfed all that for connections, which made it a more balanced, better game, competitive game. But then it created problems because now people complain about those
they
things, but
don't
they
like
actually
it.
want it. They actually want it, which is crazy. But like, it causes division, right? Where some people really want it and other people don't like it, right? So it's like, and if you get them used to something at the beginning, it's like ignorance is
Once
bliss,
you
right?
take it away,
Once
then
they
it's
get a
like,
taste,
oh,
yeah. Once they taste
yeah,
the nice steak or whatever, like with all the butter on it and everything, that's maybe, they put
yeah, and you
something
take
else
it
on
away,
there,
they pissed.
they're pissed, yeah. Or
Yep.
some food that is really tasty but it's bad for your heart, and it's like, well, I don't know. And sparking is kind of like that too, and I don't know. It's very peculiar to me.
Yeah, they really is really a bad spot that they're in right now, and I don't see how, and I don't. It's a lose lose situation really, because I almost feel like the damage has already been done at this point,
Yes.
and it's like, what is Bandai going to tell Spike to do? Are they going to tell Spike to start making some changes to the philosophy that they wanted to go for? Or are they going to tell them to try to make the game a little bit less annoying in terms of the mechanics? Now it's a lot of questions in the air. How's this game going to be treated later? And it's almost like no, it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. And because of this situation, they're kind of fucked either way. Because I feel like this wouldn't have happened if you didn't have content creators out here sharing all of these broken things and just leaving it to individual discovery. Now,
Yeah, I completely
tutorials is
agree. Yeah.
fine.
Yep.
Tutorials is fine, especially if it's meant to help them do better defensively or something like that. But if we're talking about stuff that's technically broken and you're promoting it and telling people to use these things, then that's when the line has to be drawn. Because now, what do you think everyone's going to do? Everyone's going to fudge and use it. And another thing, all right, you know how the whole UI Goku thing was a big problem at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen when people get tired of dealing with that? They're going to start looking for other things to counter that thing.
Yep.
And the cycle continues. And then you have everyone looking for some even more broken shit to counter that thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it never ends. But the problem is, when does it stop? It never stops.
No.
Reason why is because the shit's being promoted like it is. Everyone's telling people to take. No one can do self-discovery anymore. It's more like, give me a tutorial video. But this is the content space that we're in now. They
Yeah, it's
crave the tutorials.
they
No
do.
one wants self-discovery. No one wants to figure some things out on their own.
Yeah, I know.
And
And what does that do for us? That basically like the issue with that and not having self-discovery and basically being spoon-fed everything, right? And getting this self-gratification, like instant self-gratification all the time, is that one, you're not discovering it for yourself, but two, you're not able to go through the emotions of that and the thought process of, hey, is this a good thing to use or a bad thing, right? Like you don't have time
yep,
to actually think about, should I use this or not? You're just given the loaded gun in your hand and said, okay, go out there into the world, like, and just
yep.
go. And there's all those people there, and it's like, what do you do, or animals or
Just
whatever,
like how you, just like how you got screwed over by sub banking.
Yep,
Why you think that happened? Oh, people promoting it,
100%.
and now people take that shit to a damn tournament. They have commentators that don't know shit
No,
about the
yeah.
game, so they can't call it out. They just looking at it like, okay, that
They
looks kind of cool. Da, 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 da. They
Yeah,
don't
they're like cheering
realize
for
what the
me
person's
like to
doing
get
is
destroyed
cheating.
and to lose. They're like, "Oh yeah, wow, that don't lose to fear. I guess he's just getting destroyed." Like it's like, dude, like I can't do anything. He's got infinite subs and I'm not going to use that glitch. I'm not going to do that because I want a fair fight, right? So, it is what it is, but it's interesting. Spike did make or had a large part of Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi 1, 2, and 3, as well as Raging Blast 1 and 2, and
Yeah,
Ultimate
they developed
Tenkaichi.
all those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, a
they
lot of people don't
developed
know
all those.
they actually had a part in BioShock as well as Call of Duty 3, Tomb Raider Anniversary, and Dragon Age Origins. So interesting stuff. I mean, this was the right developer to do the game. I just think that it was not. It was half baked. I don't think they released it in time. I think they should have had a beta. I think they should have had a demo for sure. And I think that they should have had a testing period to help this out. And I think that doing that and having like more confidence behind your game. They had hype more than anything ever in terms of an anime game. The most hype ever, the most hyped anime game ever, but they didn't have the actual confidence uh you know over like they're going for a very specific audience, right? But even then, I don't think they did the best job that they could for that audience. I think they did a good job for that audience. I think the audience is really happy to have the game back. But me, objectively, just looking at it in terms of mechanics, looking at it as an anime fan, looking at it as someone who has a lot of experience mastering all the Storm games, for the last 14 years, from Storm 2 to Connections, and seeing how that developed, and then applying all of that to this game and just looking at this game, it's a very dry, kind of hollow experience that lacks depth and lacks excitement for me. like like because I was getting better, right? You were helping me, you were teaching me some things, I was learning some stuff on my own, and I was getting better for sure. But I saw like the time horizon, I saw the time sink, and I saw like what the game was, and I'm like, well, I honestly think I have just about got everything I wanted to out of the game. Like later, if this ever goes on sale for like $20 or something, I would probably buy it, maybe like a long
Yeah.
time down the road. And
You
if
just
the
don't desire it,
I
like
don't
that.
desire it, yeah.
That's the thing, and that's why I opened that last discussion video that I put up that we did, and I actually started off with that where there's going to come situations where like it may not be that thing that you may like it, but the other person more than there's a good chance the other person isn't. It comes down to personal preference.
That's
And if
true.
it doesn't meet somebody's needs, well, it's just GG at that point. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah,
It is
it
what it
doesn't
is.
mean that they're like a casual, or that they're bad at the game, or that they can't get good at the game, or
That's all
that they're
they
not
can
a
say.
real fan. Like it doesn't mean any of those things, but those are the things being said, right? Like as a
Those are
blanket
just
statement.
generic,
Yeah.
basic comments. That is just generic, baseless comments. You can even go as far as saying that's their copium phrase.
Copium phrase. Or do you
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely know what you mean. And do you think that maybe that these may be talking points from some bigger YouTubers?
Hmm?
Do you think that the comments that we see, right? These copium phrases, do you
Oh
think that
yeah.
they're talking points for some bigger YouTubers?
Oh yeah. Most definitely. You hear big YouTubers saying that shit all the time. Calling dude old
Yeah.
just because he shared his opinion about a fucking game.
Yeah, that's
Like,
pretty
how is
crazy.
that a good comment? That's just a blanket statement too.
Yeah, it's just like an end of the road comment. It's like, okay, you're old or you're young. Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
People say
that
that too. They're
age
like,
has nothing to
uh,
do with that.
what do they call them? Squeakers or something like that, right? It's like it's the same
Yeah.
opposite end of calling someone like a squeaker. It's like you're just like making fun of them for being way too young and not really being a full grown person that knows anything or can make decisions, which is not true. There's a lot of younger people that are super wise, super intelligent, and can teach you a thing or two, right? Like I think even kids and little kids and babies can teach you something, like if you're paying attention. But like it's just the opposite end of that, where it's like, okay, I'll just call them old and they're out of touch and hey, Unc,
Yeah,
hey.
that's all it is. That's it. That's what just a stupid blanket statement.
Basically a
And they
personal
say
attack.
those
Once the
things.
personal attack
Yeah,
happens, that there's nothing to talk about because I mean,
that's all it
we're not
is.
talking. We're just
They don't
bull
they don't
crapping.
have an answer. So they go with that.